Hi guys, FrostFangs here, back again, of course, with another Paladins video. I'm going to be playing some Barik today with this new buffed Tinkerin. It has been a while since I made a video on Tinkerin, but it's been buffed in this update directly and also indirectly. So first off, the direct buff, it's up from 550 to 600 a shot. I don't know if the drop-off was adjusted or not, I didn't actually check that, but over the course of a game, that is definitely going to add up alone. But the indirect buffs are the ones I think are a little bit more interesting, and there's two of them, but one is definitely more important than the other. First off, the minor one, air sort of strafing was adjusted, so it's a little bit easier to dodge with him now as a short tank character. It does make a bit of a difference, but the bigger one is air and actually just being straight up removed, which for normal Barik obviously doesn't make that much of a difference. This has affected a ton of characters, but Tinkerin specifically, at least for me, is massively better because of that change. The builds aren't really the focus of the video, but these are what I'm running at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're the same as they were the last time I covered him. I don't know really why you change anything because of the Tinkerin change, but I just thought I'd show them here again. One thing that I want to mention with this is that it seems to push Barik in the direction that I want him to go in, sort of like the glass cannon tank that outputs a lot but is pretty squishy. He does have the shield and the turrets, but he's kind of the utility, like high output tank, but can also die because he has like no health. When you look at the frontline roster, he fills an insanely unique spot that no one else really does, which is probably why his play rate's so low. Even though he's been around for ages, he plays very, very differently from most other characters, and that obviously is beneficial, but also to his sort of detriment. Anyway, for the teams here, we've got a Ray, a Caspian, a Nyx, a Lilith, and then we're up against a Buck, Nyx again, of course, Ram, Kazumi, and Pip. Pretty good scenario, kind of, for the Tinkerin setup here, but yeah, Ram and Nyx have kind of free damage anyway. Considering we have two healers here, I don't think it really makes sense to go for the turret heal, which I like, although it's definitely seeing less play these days, so I guess we'll go for this variant of it. We'll go for Kronos to start and Nimble. And yeah, as you can sort of see here with Tinkerin, it's really exemplified by the skin we got going. You're just perfectly accurate all the time, which I freaking love. Definitely talked about wanting mid-air and Axie removed in videos, and I'm freaking so glad it's actually gone. We got extension, it's got some Heft Murderous, Intense Subjugation, Mega Potion Subjugation, Empowered Curse Bounce House, and Subservience. I have got a few new setups with Nyx, which I will show probably at the end of this video, because yeah, they're a little bit different from the last video I did on her. Definitely not anything too crazy, but stuff worth mentioning. Another thing worth mentioning is that even if you're not jumping around with this setup, being knocked all the time because it's Paladins and other things sort of moving you and giving you mid-air and Axie is why it was annoying, not just because you're jumping yourself, but a whole host of other things that massively, get affected by mid-air and Axie. This is just going to make so many goddamn characters better, and the game overall probably more annoying to play for certain people, but yeah, I think more mobility in a game like Paladins is a good thing. Having a bit of a hard time here as a solo tank. There goes Pip. I guess we finally broke through, but they do have the double tank that only really worked because of the fact that we got rid of the squishies, but Nyx and Ram together are just obviously a pain in the ass, and you're such a short character. Mid-air and Axie on Barik barely even made sense. Your jump is like, what, an inch? Let's go ahead and throw the ult here for the shield. We'll pop the F to reset over here. It's another one. This Kazumi going kind of crazy, to be honest. She is not out because she's got a huge heal. I'm dead. That's like 4 people on me. What just happened? Also, because it took me a second to realize when I died just there, I'm up against somebody called FrostFangs, which is a name that I've actually been called before, because obviously FrostFangs is a very easy name to parody. Give me your best one down in the comments, because I feel like I've heard all of them. If you got an original one, I would honestly be kind of surprised. But shouts to FrostFangs. Honestly, at this point, I feel like I may be outputting a little bit too much damage with Tinkerin. It does have a different drop-off for sure, because I feel like it's dealing either 600 or like 450, but the 600 drop-off is pretty crazy, the amount of range you get on it. It's really like a mid-range talent, surprisingly. Popped the F there and got rooted like a second after. That kind of sucked, but this definitely makes Barik like a mid-range character. We don't have to play super close like you usually do with his weapon, where it just deals nothing at range most of the time, at least. Is it too good? I suppose we'll see. The hitbox on it maybe is a little bit busted at the moment. Seems to hit a little bit easier than I feel like it should. I don't think I'm going to be able to get there in time because they're just a little bit too stacked up here if I try and break through. Dead here nearly in the slow-mo, but yeah, 1-1. So far this feels pretty damn good to play. I imagine this is going to turn into the meta talent for Barik with that 50 damage push and the removal of the mid-air, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I think Tinkerin Barik being meta is fine. Yeah, even though I would say this is very good at the moment, I don't think I would say it's overpowered. I feel like it's more so where it should be. That root is insane, by the way. That's a team wipe there again. I wasn't sure what I was getting rooted by, but it's their Nyx talent. I sort of hinted at it in the last video, but a 3-second root is just ridiculous. I think it should go down to at least 2. Obviously, you can counter it with resilience, but 3 seconds is just ridiculous in this game, because it's not like a slow, like a really heavy slow, or like a cripple. It's like a full-on, you cannot use any movement abilities, you're just kind of stuck there for 3 seconds. I don't know if I'd say it's completely broken because of the rest of Nyx's kit, obviously, and you have to, cancel out your F. Definitely dead here, just got yoinked in. There's the F, maybe we're alright. Do I go for the ult? That was a really risky play. That's an ult from just everybody. Which one do I even call out? I don't even know what just happened. That was just damage everywhere. Jesus. Got the shield there, that got insta-cleared, but especially when you consider other things that they've done with like Grover and things they've said about Grover with deep roots and stuff, giving her a 3-second root just feels like a really bad decision. It should be like a hyper slow. I'd be fine with like even a 90% slow, maybe even a cripple, but a complete route where you just can't move at all feels like a little bit too much, especially at 3 seconds. Maybe if it was 2 it wouldn't feel that bad, because then you get like resilience 1 or 2 and it would be fine, but 3 seconds, yeah, without resilience 2 or 3 it feels really rough. I'm trying to show off the damage here and like output a decent amount, but I'm honestly having a hard time just because they have the Rom and Nyx combo. We have a lot of healers, but goddamn their team is just beefy. I can hit him for days, it just doesn't really matter. Trying to push in maybe on the Kazumi here or the Pip, because we can sort of snipe people. That is going to be her ult. I tried to get kind of out of the way, but I don't know if that really worked. I'm just dead. Okay, Kazumi just, yeah, bursting me there. The Rom is also doing a pretty good job on damage. Even if we lose this like 1-4, I'm fine with it because we have put up a good fight. It's overall been a fine game. I feel like I should have mentioned, because I think I called myself a solo tank earlier. I'm not a solo tank here. We have a Nyx. She just plays very independently and often doesn't feel like a secondary tank. Although I didn't even realize we had another tank, I genuinely thought it was like a different teammate. I don't know exactly where she's positioning herself. I think she's like playing far angles. I don't know. That route is just brutal. Even with resilience 2 that I'm still stuck in the ground for a minute. I'm going to try and play the point. I feel like they're kind of giving us this one because they're playing very safe. Could be completely wrong though. I'm going to go ahead and throw that ult as soon as the shield goes down. I don't know how they're clearing it so quick. There goes the Nyx. Pip went in there with the ult. Get some shots on him. That's the Nyx going for the ult. That was a pretty solid play there actually. Let's get rid of the Kazumi having a hard time. I should be jumping around more. I'm actually still playing as if mid-air is a thing in the game, which is kind of cute, but yeah, just actually completely forgot the fact that I can just jump whenever I want. There goes Kazumi. Nice. Nyx just kind of showing me here. There's an F. We're actually out just about. Ray with the Giga heal. This game is a good one, but I do feel like they gave us that last round maybe a little bit. I only say that just because I feel like they might have seen my stuff, given the FrostFangs or FastFangs, whatever it was the name. I could be completely wrong there. I'm just like completely misassuming here. Also want to say that going up against a Rom and Nyx makes Barik feel goddamn tiny compared to other tanks. Obviously he's usually kind of little, but here it feels extreme. There's a stun. We do have the resilience, but that still is pretty brutal. There's the F. Oh my god, the frame rate there with the heals kind of coming through clutch. I think I'm just delaying my inevitable death. Even with some really like stupid moves there, we're just gone. We do not have enough damage to deal with their team. We have a Caspian and double heal the double tank. We just do not have enough for him. Don't know if I even needed to point it out though, to be honest, because I feel like it's kind of obvious just from the way the match is going. We do not have enough damage output to deal with their team. Maybe I could be doing a little bit better because I'm missing a lot of my shots. Without a heavy blaster here though, it kind of goes without saying that we would have a very hard time because of that matchup. They just have too much of a health pool, too much like healing output from the Pip, who's doing a really good job. Then they have, you know, Kazumi for damage, Buck for flanks. It's really brutal. Even like myself here jumping around the heals, I feel like I'm just getting battered. Kazumi's mobility, by the way, is just absolutely busted. She's pretty much impossible to hit for myself right now playing, you know, this sort of setup, although normal Barik I imagine would have less of a difficult time. Playing here with Tinkerin is rough. I have max resilience and that route was brutal. There's another F. Am I out? I guess we're out. Okay, there we go. There's the 2-3. We really are lacking output. Even though I feel like everyone's putting in effort, we've got Nyx who's trying to do some in. We've even got damage to earth here, which I don't know how well that's really working. And then right click Caspian for some reason. Maybe if Caspian was on like a different sort of setup, it'd be going better. I don't really know. Nyx is going in a lot on her own and doing her own thing. I don't know if she's getting punished for that. It feels like it. She's going for the ult though. Or F, try and give her a hand. Rom is just full health still. He's going to try and push it on the Kazumi there, but I don't really have any support with me. There's the Q, there's the F with the ult. Throw up the shield here. We've got the ult ready as well. I'm going to try and get rid of the Kazumi because I feel like she's like honestly one of the biggest problems right now. There's the ult. Never mind. Definitely have to say that even after the nerfs, Kazumi does feel pretty oppressive, but I'm putting most of that down to the fact that we don't really have a way to clear her. I think in a normal game it's going to be way less noticeable. Completely messed up that shot there. Kind of had that kill for free. We'll drop the ult down in the Q. Is my ult even doing anything? The shield is cleared. Who has enough Wrecker that my shield is lasting like a millisecond? What? GG's. Anyway, we had quite a bit of output there, but we were actually beaten out by the Lilith. I'm really surprised by this. It's the first time I think I've seen somebody go for this start and actually output a lot. Props to her. She did her job there for sure. More than enough. There, Nyx there pointing out the 3-second route being kind of crazy. Ray acknowledging it. Shoutouts also there to the Pip. I'm hopefully sort of expecting them to nerf it, but I don't really know how this got through. I understand that on the PTS the F was broken, so people couldn't really give feedback to test it, but whoever thought 3 seconds of a route was a good idea, like I said, after all the Grover stuff, it kind of blows my mind a bit. But then again, it is countered by resilience, so it doesn't go too crazy. It isn't like too insanely overpowered or anything because you can counter it, but yeah, just kind of surprised me a little bit. We'll do a TDM for a game 2 just to really show off aggro Barik because I didn't really do that there in the first one. Just going to play super aggressive here, jump around with Tinkerin, try and play as annoyingly as possible as you can on Barik, sort of strafing in the air, you know, outputting a lot. Here are the teams and the talents and everything. Again, for you, we'll just, yeah, run in. I went for the sort of mixed setup without the extra health because, again, trying to show off glass cannon aggro Barik here. We'll drop the right click Q. Hello, enemy freaking Lian. Can't land shots today. I need to uncut my frame rate, which is something I forgot to do after the update because for some reason the frame rate got limited again after this one. It doesn't do it after every update, but this time around it did. That knock on Cassie, by the way, definitely have kind of crazy output at this sort of middle range compared to most tanks. I think you're actually going to output quite a bit more. There's the F, some crazy movement, right click, drop the Q down here, shots on her. I would also find it kind of nice if you could headshot with this. I don't know if that would be even possible because of the way Barik works. There goes the Ray and also the Sati. Nice, we'll get some Haven and we'll run in a bit here with the F, play aggressive. There's a right click. Oh my god, that burst. Getting some long range shots here. We're hitting for pretty crazy amounts. Obviously that was with a Fury ultimate, but you do hit pretty damn hard. I should sit near the turrets. We have self-heal. I changed the setup. But yeah, you really do have pretty crazy output with this compared to most tanks at like a middle and long range. I don't know, like super hard level drop off, like if you're really, really far away, but yeah, you're not really finding it that most of the time. And even if you are, you're probably going to get range limited by this before you notice like severe drop off, I think. Shouts Fury here for the heal. She doesn't have any self-heal though, so she's actually struggling a little bit. That at the end is really, really annoying. The problem with this, obviously the trade-off, is that it's pretty hard to hit compared to his normal weapon. So you're like hopefully getting more output, but you're missing a bit more often. So if you're not doing that great, it's probably going to even out about the same. But ideally, especially if they added headshots, it would be really nice. You're going to end up with a lot more output if you're accurate, which I think is the payoff and, you know, sort of the trade-off, and you're getting a little bit less tankiness because of the shield not being up as often. I'm trying to show off some long range here, but I feel like I'm dealing either like 450 or the full 600 at most ranges where you're realistically going to fight, until right at the end there, as you sort of saw, we deal like I think around 1 like or 200. Maybe there the end isn't the one that's here. I'm not sure. Someone is definitely AFK though. I think we took a while to load in. Super far away though. I'm trying to test stuff like this, trying to hit the Lian. Okay, so it does go down quite hard after like a certain limit, but that is a very unrealistic scenario for a tank like Barik to be in. So you're pretty much just got no drop off on this. Fury there with the ult, kind of shred them at this point. I pop the F, wiggle round. I'm in a really crap spot. I was trying to use my F again, but I didn't get any reset on it. I need to pay more attention to the goddamn card because I keep thinking I have two. I feel like I'm most of the time just kind of chasing after people there. Leon is definitely the one who isn't here. The F reset not happening there. I need to be looking at the cooldown in the bottom right, but I feel like I should have got it trigger there. It said that the card did. I don't know if that even works. I feel like the card cooldown things are just broken. But yeah, the F doesn't feel like it resets half the time for whatever reason at the moment for me. There goes the Cassie. Nearly will finish off the Sati. That works. Nice. We'll push round. We're 5 ahead here. I feel like we've been kind of shredding them, but like I said, I've been chasing people or like just sort of playing angles most of this game. There goes Cassie. Actually out damaged. Oh my god, Barik is back, boys. I feel like he's actually playable as sort of a DPS. I just like straight up out damaged to Cassie there. I feel like we'll just keep jumping around, see if we can get rid of her. The mid-air inaccuracy is not in place, but I'm actually still playing like it is because I'm like instinctively just not jumping playing Barik because it usually messes you up really bad. There goes the Cassie, and there, yeah, is the victory. Didn't do a great job of Tinkerin there either, to be honest, but I don't really know how else I could show it off. It doesn't feel crazy to play. It's just one of those things at the end of the game you're like, oh, I did a lot of damage and I still played Barik kind of like normal, just a bit slightly more aggressive. Shoutouts there to their Sati, but I don't think I really have anything to add here right at the end about Tinkerin. This is sort of just like a PSA video to go ahead and give it another shot because it is much, much better than before, especially, you know, if you like playing Barik that sort of way anyway. Also, because I nearly forgot, here are my updated Nyx builds. I actually have tweaked them a little bit, mainly with Frontline Commander, I'm pretty sure, but they are still following the same sort of thing, although now for talent, I kind of go between all three of them. I don't really stick to any, I just grab it depending on the scenario. Also on Andro, Darkstalker is a thing. They changed Curse Revolver, but it's bugged at the moment, so I'm not covering that right now. I'll wait until they fix it because it doesn't really work properly at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you want to see me next. I'll see you guys all really, really soon. And as always, stay frosty.